Dominick, can you tell us about how our personal rules and the story that we tell ourselves box us in and keep us stuck, and how NSA can help?
Yeah, it's so interesting how so many people have the finances they have, the occupation they have, the relationship they have is because of their identity, how I see myself. And our identity is the most defended aspect of each one of us. We'll defend that to the death. I mean, when you think about it, in the Middle East, a mom and a dad will take their 3 or 4-year-old, strap a bomb on them, and have them run into the barracks or whatever it is and blow somebody up. So they will literally destroy their own child who they love, all because of a story, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a story, and it's their identity. So the point is what will people do to protect their story? Well, obviously, if they'll do that, they'll limit themselves in finance, in relationship, how they cut their hair, the clothes they wear. I remember I had someone come in for an interview into our office years ago, and this guy came in here with these ripped up old tennis shoes and jeans. And so after about 30 seconds, I said, let's just stop here because I don't want to waste your time. I said, you're coming here for an interview because you want to contribute here, you want a job here, but yet you look like you slept in the parking lot behind the office. I said, surely you can present yourself differently in a more successful way, then you'll be more likely to get hired. I'm trying to give this guy a perspective. And he's like, no, man, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is who I am. So obviously I wasn't going to hire this guy, but the point is that his identity is his shoes and his ripped up jeans. Like, really? So if people have that blind spot, and he's not even able to see that his so-called identity, like, that's not who he is. That's not what you're about. That's just his story.
He decided that's
just,
how he wanted to be perceived.
Assuming that's what he decided, but how many times does the media decide for us? The reason why they advertise aspirin on TV day after day after day after day, even though we've seen that stuff thousands of times, and we know what it does, but they keep putting it in our faces because it influences, right? Mm-hmm. So the same. So how does that, we could see that in the other person, how ridiculous and how obvious that is. But what about us? So anytime I see something ridiculous in some other person, I always try to put that back on me and say, where in my life am I ridiculous? Where in my life do I cut my hair a certain way, I dress a certain way, I move a certain way, my speech is a certain way, my mannerisms are a certain way? How much of that is me and not just this identity that I took on? Mm-hmm. Then the more you reflect, the more you realize all of it is just the identity that I took on.
Very true.
That isn't even me, it's just something that was modeled for me, the way I move my hands, the way I speak. If I grew up in a different country with a different language, I would speak different, my mannerisms would be different, the way I pronounce my words would be different. So if we could take a look at that and say, okay, where in my life does that work? And where in my life does my story not work? My relationships, my finance, my success, my bank account, the friends, the people I associate with, and write that down. The gift in network care, the body work that we do, the energy work that we do, the consciousness exercises we do, is to literally help the person observe themselves from outside of the story and see, how does this work for me, or get a good laugh at how ridiculous it is and how self-limiting it is. And then as you go through the stages of consciousness, you literally free yourself of that story and then take on a story maybe that's better suited for you. And then the gifts that come with that. Because at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong, there's just consequences. So if you like what you're getting in life, then keep doing it. If you don't like what you're getting in life, then change your story. And one of the most powerful ways to do that and free yourself from that and observe yourself so that you can be more growth-oriented and make a better decision is the network care, and the consciousness exercises are amazing for that.
So it helps you create a life that serves you better instead of being locked into something that society told you you're supposed to be or whatever you decided.
Yeah, exactly. And so much of the story isn't even ours. Mm-hmm. So you're where you're at, not even because of your own story, but because of someone else's story. Mm-hmm. Or if you're going to screw yourself up, it feels different if it's because of something that you tried out, and it's different if it's something that you're not even aware. Yeah, conscious exercises are probably the most powerful way to observe yourself from outside of the box. And it's liberating. That in itself can change someone's life.
I will attest to that. I like when I find a place in my body, and I release energy, and it's the most amazing feeling. And then you walk out and you realize, wow, I've been holding that for 20 years. And it does help you view the world in a completely different way. I went through a bunch of things that happened in my life that were a part of my story. And this is when I first started coming to see you. Things from my childhood. I would go out to the car and cry and get it out. And then from that day forward, my story really did change, and I viewed everything completely differently. And it was like I got past something that I was stuck on for so long. And it came from, working through the stages and the consciousness exercises and releasing. And then, wow, it really had made a huge difference in my life.
Right on, Jennifer. I appreciate that feedback. And, Wayne Dyer would always say, as you change the way you view the world you view changes. So if you want your world to change, you want your behavior to change, you want you to grow and not be limited by the success of your parents and others around you, and you want to grow and move forward in life, then the consciousness exercises, and especially network care, if you have it available, will definitely put you on the fast track to observing yourself, having a good laugh, and doing something that works